Donald Trump was a complete outsider, and we talked about that before. He was a gunslinger who came into town and cleaned things up, and he wasn't part of the town's city council. And that's what they wanted in 2016. They did not want it, particularly in 2020.
Victor Davis Hanson recently made a bold statement saying he's revealing everything because he's dying. His insights have stirred up conversations, especially with the intense debate between Donald Trump and Joe Biden on everyone's mind. Hanson focuses on Biden's challenges while taking a close look at recent polls. Could there be more to this story than meets the eye? We will reveal the hidden answers that Victor never dared to share and will provoke a mass disruption in U.S. politics. Trump surges in states. Now let's chat about those polls. The Fox survey put Biden ahead by 2 points nationally, but then the Rasmussen survey came out. You might have seen that one. It showed Biden trailing by 9 points in a head-to-head race and down by 7 in a three-way contest. This was pretty eye-opening, especially since we've been hearing a lot about changes in how different groups like the Black community, Latino community, young folks, and independents are leaning. The never-Trumpers don't really have a voice anymore. No one's paying attention to them. Meanwhile, big money donors are starting to throw their support back to the Republicans, although you wouldn't know it from the national polls. But if you look at state polls, especially in places like Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and somewhat in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, Trump's got significant leads. Over in Iowa, he's ahead by 18 points and is basically tied in Minnesota. But what if these polls are hiding something much bigger? Could there be a shocking twist in the numbers that no one sees coming? Stay tuned, the real story might just be starting. Everyone's been trying to figure out what's going on, and the latest Rasmussen poll helped make things clearer. Trump is actually doing a lot better than the Fox poll suggested because all these shifts in voter groups have to show up somewhere. They're showing up in the state polls, but not so much in the national ones, which seem to count too many or reflect the big Democratic leads in states like New York, Illinois, and California. Nationally, I think Trump is ahead by 4 or 5 points. The rally in Philadelphia was important, though I don't want to make too big a deal out of it because the same thing happened in 2020. Trump had huge rallies, while Biden had events that were more like drive-in movies with people honking their horns, and Biden still won. However, Trump seems to be a much stronger candidate now than he was in 2020, both in terms of support and financially. Looking back at the 1980 election, you could feel something was about to happen, yet the polls had Jimmy Carter and Ronald Reagan almost even. Actually, I checked the second-to-last Gallup poll in mid-October, and it had Carter ahead by 6 points. They only had one debate that year, kind of like what we're seeing now. There was a third-party candidate, John Anderson. Carter refused to debate him and tried to get him off the ballot. Reagan went ahead and debated him, and Anderson only ended up with 7% of the vote. People were fed up with the Iranian hostage situation, disappointed by a failed rescue attempt, and dealing with hyperinflation, the oil crisis, and stagflation. Carter was frustrated, scolding people just like Biden is now, with his malaise speech blaming everyone else. Reagan, on the other hand, promised there wouldn't be any hostages if he became president. He said he'd bring America back. People laughed at him, called him a clown. He didn't have a great debate against Anderson and maybe even lost that one. But in the second debate with Carter, he did well. He just countered Carter's rapid-fire facts with, "There you go again," and it really connected with people who were tired of being lectured. They were sick of being told that America was done, that they had to turn down their thermostats and accept less. Reagan's optimism really hit home, and eventually there was a huge wave of voters who said, "I'm done with Carter, I'm voting for the other guy." I think something like that is happening right now. So what's happening now as we head toward this big debate? Well, the atmosphere is charged. People are watching closely because they know this debate could really sway things one way or the other. Biden and Trump are gearing up knowing the whole country and really the whole world will be watching. For Biden, he's got to prove he can handle the pressure, especially since he's had some tough moments recently. For Trump, it's about showing he's still got what it takes to lead, that his previous term wasn't a fluke. The debate itself is likely to be fiery. Both candidates have strong views and aren't afraid to express them. We can expect to hear a lot about the economy, healthcare, foreign policy, and probably a bit about personal integrity. Each candidate will be trying to convince the undecided voters that he's the better choice. As for the public, everyone's got an opinion. Some are firmly in Trump's camp, ready to support him all the way. Others believe Biden is the change the country needs. And then there are those who are still on the fence, waiting to be convinced. This debate could be the tipping point for many of them. And what about after the debate? Well, the analysis will be nonstop. Every channel, every social media platform will be buzzing with opinions. Did Trump do enough to solidify his base and win over new supporters? Did Biden come across as a capable leader ready to take the reins? It'll be dissected from every angle. In the days leading up to the debate, both campaigns will be on overdrive, fine-tuning their messages, prepping their candidate for every possible question. It's a high-stakes game, and neither side wants to make a misstep. They know that in today's fast-paced world, one slip-up can be replayed endlessly, potentially changing the course of the election. With this in mind, a closer look at how personal experiences shape public opinions helps us see things more clearly. A life shaped by the land. Victor Davis Hanson was born in 1953 and raised in Selma, California, right in the heart of the San Joaquin Valley's farming region. His family had been deeply rooted in this area since the late 19th century, beginning with his great-grandmother who moved from Missouri to California in 1871. Growing up in a family with a strong tradition of farming shaped Victor deeply, linking his future academic interests in ancient civilizations with the tangible experiences of modern American farming. Both of Victor's parents were notable figures themselves. His mother, Pauline Davis Hanson, broke barriers as one of the first female judges in California, and his father, William Frank Hanson, was a school administrator. They instilled a strong work ethic in Victor and his siblings, encouraging them to take part in the family farm's daily operations. This hands-on approach to life helped form Victor's values of self-reliance and adherence to traditional norms, which he often discussed in his later writings. From a young age, the lessons of discipline and responsibility not only shaped his character, but also strengthened his connection to the land and its role in developing a person's character. Initially, Victor aimed to become a lawyer, but his educational path took a turn at the University of California, Santa Cruz. It was there that he found his calling in the classical world. He completed his undergraduate degree in classics in 1975 and earned a PhD in the same field from Stanford University 5 years later in 1980. His studies at Stanford focused particularly on the connections between warfare and agriculture in ancient Greece, a topic that would heavily influence his later scholarly work. He sought to draw lines between the lives of ancient civilizations and the current day, particularly through the lens of agrarian struggles. After earning his doctorate, Victor didn't head into academia right away. Instead, he returned to work on his family's farm. The years he spent farming full-time provided him with a perspective that was both grounded and broad, deeply influencing his academic insights. He often drew comparisons between his own challenges and those faced by ancient farmers, emphasizing the universal nature of certain struggles like hardship and the need for independence. The early 80s brought financial challenges to the Hanson farm, particularly when raisin prices plummeted. This financial strain pushed Victor to seek additional income, leading him to California State University, Fresno. There, he started off teaching Latin and eventually founded the Classical Languages program. His unique blend of practical farming experience and classical education enriched his teaching and scholarly work, earning him the American Philological Association Excellence in Teaching Award in 1991. His academic path was deeply entwined with his life on the farm, allowing him to bring real-world experience into his study of ancient history. One of Victor's significant early contributions to classical studies was his challenge to the prevailing thought that ancient armies frequently destroyed farmland as a warfare strategy. His first-hand farming knowledge led him to question how practical such tactics were with the ancient tools available. His seminal work, Warfare and Agriculture in Classical Greece questioned these established notions and marked the beginning of a career that would frequently challenge and expand the understanding of ancient history. During his time at California State University, Fresno, Victor Davis Hanson nurtured his career as a writer, skillfully merging insights from classical history with analyses of current political and cultural events. This unique blend captivated a wide audience, paving the way for his shift from academic circles to broader public engagement. By the start of the 2000s, Hanson had carved out a niche for himself as a prominent thinker, contributing articles to well-known publications and offering his perspective on a variety of topics, including warfare, governance, and societal trends. Raised in a farming family, Hanson's early life and scholarly pursuits shaped him into a pointed critic of contemporary societal shifts. He voiced strong concerns over what he perceived as a fading of core values and a dilution of Western cultural foundations. Drawing from his life on the farm and his deep knowledge of ancient civilizations, Hanson championed a revival of the principles of diligence, self-control, and reverence for history. He frequently lamented the growing gap he saw between the ruling classes and the common people, a recurrent theme in his writings that juxtaposed the straightforward lives of ancient agrarian citizens with today's more detached urban leaders. Let's now see how a life of strong values can shape important thoughts on today's issues. From teaching to writing big ideas. After nearly 20 years of teaching, Hanson left CSU Fresno in 2004 to dedicate himself entirely to writing and public analysis. This new chapter in his career broadened his reach, allowing him to pen books and essays that tackled subjects from military strategy to immigration and the decline of cultural norms. His book, *Carnage and Culture*, released in 2001, delved into the reasons behind the historical successes of Western militaries over non-Western opponents. This topic rose to prominence following the events of September 11, cementing Hanson's status as a key figure in military historical analysis. Apart from his literary contributions, Victor Davis Hanson has played significant roles in various conservative academic and political organizations. Since 2004, he has held a position as a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution at Stanford University. Additionally, he has been involved with multiple boards, including the Bradley Foundation, which supports a range of educational and research initiatives. Over the years, Hanson's political perspectives have undergone significant changes, particularly influenced by major global events such as the Iraq War and the War on Terror. Initially hesitant about the aggressive foreign policies of neoconservatives, Hanson's views evolved dramatically after the attacks on September 11, leading him to become a staunch advocate for robust military responses, defending the idea that Western civilization needed active protection against international threats. Victor has consistently maintained a deep connection to his farming heritage throughout his impressive career. He continues to live on his ancestral farm in Selma, California. This place isn't just a home, but a constant reminder of his roots and a space for reflection. Here he observes firsthand the shifts in agricultural practices and the wider changes affecting society. These observations often make their way into his writings, which recurrently explore themes of decay and renewal. With his unique perspective as both a farmer and a historian, he delves into the enduring challenges and the resilience of human communities through his analytical work, offering insights that bridge historical epics with the present challenges. In the public sphere, Hanson remains a prominent and influential figure. His ability to draw meaningful connections between ancient civilizations and contemporary issues has won him widespread recognition. His writings, which span a broad spectrum from classical history to modern-day political debates, have not only enriched academic and cultural discussions, but have also brought him numerous awards. Hanson continues to write prolifically, addressing a variety of topics that underscore the importance of preserving the cultural and intellectual traditions that have shaped and sustained Western civilization. Throughout his career, Hanson has not shied away from expressing his views on controversial topics, often challenging mainstream opinions. His stance on military intervention and the defense of Western values post 9/11 sparked both support and criticism, highlighting his role as a thought leader willing to take strong positions. His experiences on the farm have instilled in him a pragmatic approach to life and work, which he applies to his analyses of historical and contemporary issues. This blend of practical farming life and academic rigor provides him with a unique vantage point from which to critique modern society and its departure from traditional values. Hanson's work extends beyond simple historical analysis to include a deep examination of the philosophical underpinnings of Western thought and its contemporary relevance. He often discusses the philosophical roots of democracy, governance, and civic responsibility, linking them to today's political and social climate. Through his books, essays, and public speeches, he advocates for a return to what he sees as fundamental principles that have historically undergirded successful societies. Now, we'll look at the moments when guilt becomes too heavy, leading to confessions that can change everything. Final words reveal dark truths. Confessions made by people before they die can tell us a lot about hidden actions, regrets, or truths they've kept hidden for years. These kinds of admissions usually come up when folks start feeling the weight of their guilt and realize they don't have much time left. Over the years, many of these confessions have caught people's attention because they bring to light hidden crimes or settle unanswered questions. These moments give folks a chance to clear their conscience, no matter the fallout. Some really notable confessions before death have involved big revelations and unresolved cases. Take Christopher Smith, for example. As his health declined, he chose to admit to his role in a violent case from decades ago. Smith had been suspected in the elimination of Joan Harrison after being picked up for something else. His DNA linked him to the crime, which had been a cold case for ages. But before the DNA results hit the news, Smith penned a detailed letter admitting to Harrison's crime. His written confession was his way of facing his past deeds, knowing the truth would probably come out anyway. He passed away shortly after, but his guilt was confirmed by the evidence found later. Then there's the case of Tor Hepso, who spent his last days confessing to crimes that had wrongfully put another man behind bars. Hepso admitted to the elimination of 2 women in Norway, crimes for which Fritz Moen had been wrongly blamed. Moen had spent years in prison but was cleared after Hepso's admission. This case shows the grim reality of justice gone wrong, and even though Moen was gone before his name was cleared, Hepso's words restored his reputation after his death. Henry Alexander's confession added another layer to the unresolved racial violence in the United States. In his last moments, Alexander confessed to playing a part in the elimination of Willie Edwards, a black man who was forced to jump off a bridge by members of the Ku Klux Klan. This case was closed years ago due to unclear reasons for death, but Alexander was haunted by his guilt. As he got sicker, he admitted that Edwards' death was a direct result of his and others' actions. Alexander didn't face legal consequences for his confession, but it brought some closure to those seeking the truth for so long. Another chilling confession came from Michael Lee Wilson, who was on death row for other crimes when he declared 2 men innocent of a crime he committed. In his last moments, Wilson owned up to a drive-by shooting that had eliminated innocent folks. His late confession eventually helped clear the 2 men who'd been wrongly locked up. Wilson's admission sheds light on the flaws in our justice system, where sometimes the innocent suffer for crimes they didn't commit. Other confessions deal with personal regrets or relationships instead of crimes. These can include folks admitting to hidden affairs, hidden children, or deep family problems. While these don't usually lead to legal issues, they still show the heavy load of guilt or unresolved relationships that people carry until the end. Whether it's about unsettled legal matters or personal issues, deathbed confessions shed light on the complex mix of human emotions, guilt, and the search for peace. Deathbed confessions are powerful because they often unveil truths behind unsettled cases or long-hidden personal issues. Some confess to seek forgiveness while others want to leave behind the guilt they've carried for years. Could Victor Davis Hanson's shocking revelations change the political landscape, or is there something deeper at play? Share your thoughts and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.